potentially go in that direction, but we have seen Weibo opt into the Xayah for Huanfeng. A little bit of a different thing with him playing the lethality. Could leave that till later, but either way, likely going to see the jungle in this rotation as well. Often see the jungle in that 1-2 for red side.
Weibo pretty much the team that is playing this Xayah, and you call it Orcs immediately. That Xayah is locked in. This has been a pocket pick for Huanfeng, and they get the Rakan alongside it, which in my mind, alongside Thresh, is On's premium champion. I love to watch this guy play Rakan.
Yeah, and it's a strong duo, right? Not quite at sort of the old levels where we saw just dominate everything in the 1v1, but a lot of power in those team fights, a lot of safety for the Xayah, a lot of CC power for the Rakan and the Hecarim. Wei had a great game on it, right? I don't fault him picking up here, and actually may not even go for it, may go in a different direction. Because one of the things is when you're diving into a Xayah, you're going to have a harder time, right? We saw Wei pretty much go unchecked in a lot of scenarios. Those feathers can be a massive pain point. Now, we could see RNG opt for something a little bit different. They could go for a mid laner. They could go for a top that feels open. Support would be like the safe thing, right? Matching the Rakan would make a lot of sense. But it looks like they're leaning towards mid. Ahri has the extra dive potential. Orianna very good with the Jinx and the Hecarim.
Leaning towards a team fight composition here with that Orianna locked in, and now over to Weibo to see how they want to finish things out. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see a jungler here, but I want to quickly just mention some statistics here. I want to throw some stats at you, Orcs, in regards to this Xayah and Rakan. I just want to also point out, this would be triple Vestaya, so a little bit of TFT-based synergy there. Although, I don't know if we've ever had a Vestaya synergy in TFT. I digress. It's going to be the Ahri locked in. 100% win rate so far in this split for both Huanfeng Xayah with 5 games and a 7.1 KDA. And also, On's Rakan, he has played it 7 times with 100% win rate so far. This bottom lane for Weibo, this is the combo. This is how they win.
And honestly, I actually love the Lulu ban because we've seen earlier in the split, there was a matchup, Lulu and Rakan. The Rakan really can't engage that easily with the polymorph, and also with an Orianna and a Lulu buffing up out of the Hecarim and the Jinx, that would be an exceptional composition. So I like the fact, despite we typically see a lot more engaged supports in the LPL, they are respecting the enchanter potential here. Now, RNG makes complete sense to ban away the junglers, get rid of that Lee Sin, which you've seen SofM be so proficient on. Could, in this situation, go in a variety of directions in terms of banning out junglers. Could even just go for a ban towards TheShy in the top lane. Like the Gnar, the Gragas could be things we saw banned away in the previous one. But it's going to go for the Xin Zhao here.
It will just be that Xin Zhao ban, so removing some more early presence. And I can understand why, but guess what? It's Viego that's actually been the second most played by SofM across the year. 83% win rate over 6 games so far. Definitely a comfort champion for SofM. Feels like a lot of comfort across the board here for Weibo, aside from obviously this Ahri, which very recently reworked. I don't think it's comfort for anyone necessarily. But now to RNG, they need to finish this composition out. They need a top laner and a support. Ming hovering the Tahm Kench. It's the natural selection alongside that Jinx. But now we need that blind pick top lane.
Yeah, and we obviously saw, despite the fact top lane did get kind of messed up by the rest of RNG, TheShy definitely in the 1v1 with that whole break of Graves into the cannon was a bit of a pain point. I feel like there's a lot of flexibility available for Bin here. Gnar, pretty stable blind in most situations. There are definitely picks that can punish it, but I'm not sure they're going to any that we're going to see TheShy go into. Could just end up with him playing something pretty safe just to farm up. Even the Graves potentially could come out again. We will see that Gnar locked in. So again, incredibly strong team fight coming out from RNG, but I feel like Weibo have more tools already. I really like the Ahri Viego combo, all about those resets, that ability sort of to chain kills in skirmishes, in team fights. And now TheShy toying with the idea of the Akshan. A lot of options available.
Yeah, you're being baited, Aux. You're being baited. It's exactly what they did in the first draft as well. Let's see before it's locked in. It is locked in. The Akshan comes out here for TheShy in the top lane. Well, boy, do we have a spicy matchup. And boy, does Bin have his work cut out for him right now. I'd be nervous if I was Bin going into this game. But Wei, in game number 1, had so much focus on getting into those side lanes and stopping that kind of pressure. So TheShy needs to be cautious not to go too deep.
Yeah, I think that's something to be aware of, but this matchup feels like a bit of a pain point for the Gnar, right? One of the things with the Akshan is you can just swing into range of anyone. Gnar traditionally prefers to go into melee champions who can keep a bay and harass down. He won't get that window up against this Akshan. And can't see the Akshan go Hullbreaker. Obviously, Gnar can go Hullbreaker himself. Handles dealing with it a bit better than the Kennen. So maybe potentially less threat in the side lane. We'll have to see. I still really like RNG's composition when it comes to team fights. I do think the skirmishing power of Weibo is pretty stellar, right? In the smaller fights, you have the power of the Viego, the Ahri. Those resets in more spread out fights can have a lot of value. But when it comes to those 5v5s, Orianna, Jinx, Hecarim, so powerful, especially with the extra range. They can enable Jinx to just take over.
Certainly can. Towards Huanfeng and on in that laning phase. See if they can shut down Gala before he ever gets rolling. But also, again, the mid jungles feels like an exciting one here. Ahri and Viego up against Hecarim and Orianna. I'm honestly not even sure which team has the advantage there. It feels like they both have different positives to go for them for that top lane. It's a kill lane. I feel like both junglers, I wouldn't be surprised if both mid laners are going to be showing their faces up towards the top side of the map.
I mean, there's definitely potential windows. I do feel like RNG, you know, you're going to expect to see TheShy trying to find priority, trying to contest. Could go for a gank in the extended lane, especially with Hecarim, easy to run down a target. But I feel like this mid jungle, I really love combos like this. Like we've seen a bit earlier in the season, or even early in Viego's sort of time as a champion. Like Viego Lissandra was a really cool combo because again, you both get the resets on a kill. Kind of similar here, right? Angel has really good target selection. If you get a pick on a one target, if you land charm, you kill them. SofM gets a reset, you get an extra ult charge. Really can snowball very quickly in those fights, particularly the small numbered skirmishes or like spread out fights. So I think a lot of tools in favor of Weibo on that mid jungle, especially sort of when you start to get into those skirmishes. But for now, TheShy
is getting punished for this one though. Wei and Ming moving over. TheShy already solo on HP. And that's going to be first blood picked up by Wei. TheShy, he's done this before. That's the thing. He's done this like every game. He goes and tries to bully the jungler. RNG know Weibo's playbook and they punish it.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a common thing. And critically, they saw that he actually started the Q, didn't have the E available. So I think if he had that, maybe could have seen him create a bit more space. Maybe we would have been able to at least flash out or burn something more from the other side. But either way, a nice punish, a prepared punish from RNG. It will cost them some pressure on the bot side. They do actually miss 1 million of XP, so it means they won't get level 2 as quickly as Weibo's bot lane, and they have to respect that. But definitely positive play, and that gold went over to Wei, who on the Hecarim, we saw how much agency he had in the game 1.
Yeah, I mean, they won't get the level 2 spike as a great trade in the mid lane from Angel there as he hit level 2. SofM moving over as well just to help Angel shove this one in and perhaps go for some kind of invade here with the priority that's been found in this mid lane. Xiaohu, low HP, level 2. SofM is a level down right now because of that first blood. You do have to be a little bit cautious. He's a camp behind. SofM is going to go for the smite, though. He realizes that Wei doesn't have his smite available. And so SofM is just going to give him a bit of pain in this early trading. And now we'll move towards the red buff as well. He knows he has prio in bot lane and in mid lane. And SofM does not want to let a single moment of pressure go to waste. Now damage onto the jungler once again as Wei is chased out of his own side of the map.
And there's no recourse, right? Look at the lanes. Triple prio lanes right now for Weibo. And just completely changes the jungle dynamic. We talked a lot about how Hecarim... Oh,
denying the recall, denying the escape. Ignite is burning away, and that's going to be a kill for On. What a play coming out from Weibo, just punishing Wei after he got first blood. SofM will not let him go, and I love this combo in the jungle. On moving over to help his jungler punish.
Beautiful execution, and this is what we want to see when there's a Hecarim, right? Back in the days, last year, when it was like Hecarim, Udyr meta, the Udyr would invade heavily. You could see them get like a 4-level lead from doing so. Change of meta, change of champions, but still that Hecarim vulnerable to those early invades.
Bin wants an opportunity onto TheShy. He's playing the Akshan, and he will get... No, flashes... Oh, it goes down to an auto anyway. Bin finds a solo kill. Once again, that's 2 games in a row. Now fights in the bottom lane, and it's pure chaos across the entire rift right now. But no mana for Huanfeng on level 2, walking away, just about survives. The root coming out from Huanfeng. SofM is off to the side. Huanfeng just has to look juicy. He's trying to play to bait this one, but RNG Doesn't look like they're going to take the bait.
Yeah, minion blocked the zap from Gala there just enough to keep on alive. Definitely close, and you can see despite the fact that Weibo were planning so much pressure through this jungle matchup, the invades using the priority that they have, the laners from RNG, top and bot, still performing pretty well. The fact that Bin managed to find that solo kill onto his replacement, in terms of story, pretty sick, but also in terms of the fact that against TheShy, great find here on the Mega Gnar.
And it's also kind of like it's a really big positive for Bin. It's also pretty negative for TheShy, right? Like, this is 2 games in a row where you're just underestimating your opponent. On's going in. He's still level 2, but he's making plays around the map regardless. A good attempt onto Xiaohu, but no flash burn for the time being. They will be able to shove this wave in, drag it onto the map if Weibo want to go for that one, as the charm goes ever so slightly wide. But SofM, he doesn't want to let Wei get a singular camp this game if he can help it. He's going to challenge every single time. Xiaohu's behind the play, though, as this is just pure chaos. This is just pure damage coming out from RNG as they find 2 kills to start things off. And Gala's over the wall. The slow with the zap. Flash is full for the Flame Chompers, but they go a little bit shallow on this one. Angel, no flash available, no ult available. Will surely go down to 1 more auto. The zap will finish the kill. And RNG are destroying Weibo.
Massive overstep from Weibo, right? The plays worked before because you had the priority in the lane, because you managed to get in, force RNG away, and managed to maintain control. But critically here, we saw Xiaohu able to move. Yes, it was slower, but we watched the play happen. So right now, 3-man strong, but look bot lane. Huanfeng's in base, Gala's moving over. Xiaohu has now had time to respond, and now they have not only a numbers advantage coming along quickly, but the 3 members are able to match in this skirmish. Remember, we talked a lot about the reset potential of the Viego and the Ahri. Ahri's not even 6. Viego's not even 6, right? Losing a lot of power by not having those tools available. And RNG able to chase down. The initial play at the start of the game was stellar from Weibo to punish the Hecarim. But it felt like they didn't really think about why it worked in this situation. And they overcommit without the backup. But now, might have found something here.
Pick on towards the Tahm Kench. Remember, does have that Missile Voyage available to him, but a great knockup from On. There's the root coming through to deny the escape. Very nicely done by On and Huanfeng. SofM starting to play off, and now Wei wants to answer in the top side. TheShy, if there was ever a time to be careful, to realize something's going on, now is it. Gets the rope swing out to safety. And it's all a little bit Indiana Jones up on the top side as he pulls his hat out from the door at the last possible second. SofM, in the meantime, gets to go for the Drake.
Hard to punish the Akshan in a lot of situations, especially there. If he'd overcommitted, definitely there could have been a window, but he knows, right? My team's making a play on the bot side. I need to play safe, I need to play respectful. Not sure about this dive.
His team is still making a play on the bottom side. The flash from Huanfeng is gorgeous, but he misses the ulti. And now Bin is here to save the day. Bin shutting down his old friends. But another feather call. Huanfeng still alive for the time being. Ming licks him to death, though, and RNG get everything again. Double for Bin. And it already feels like it's running out of steam for Weibo.
Yeah, it is feeling rough, especially with how strong the team fighting is from RNG. You know, I said, Bin had a pretty rough game 1. Probably the worst performing member of this RNG lineup in that first game. Here, he is on form. Oh, he didn't engage.
Another engage from On. He just won't stop this game. Angel low on mana. Shockwave comes out from Xiaohu, but it's not enough. Angel jumps forward with that Spirit Rush. One more little bit of damage, but the Corrupting Potion ticking away. Angel, can he actually do anything here? He doesn't have any mana.
Damage just wasn't quite there. Remember, this is the TP Ahri, not the Ignite. Now, we'll get a replay. And Bin, rough game 1, but this game 2 on point. TP's in. The dive attempt comes in because they know they have the ult to reset aggro, but they don't finish off Gala. Huge ult. Manages to get the double wallop follow-up and then the boulder. And then critically, SofM doesn't have level 6 yet and doesn't manage to get the kill. He's just trying to look for the resets. And Bin only just surviving. Super close, but now 3-0-2 on this Gnar. TheShy not going to be having a fun time in this matchup top lane. And Gala manages to survive. Remember, this Jinx, you have an Ori to provide that shielding. You have the safety from the Tahm Kench. Gala will end up being a monster this game if he's unchecked.
And I feel like that was a little bit on Huanfeng. It's not usual that Huanfeng gets this criticism. It's not usual that he's the one whiffing it, but misses his ult onto Gala, misses the Blade Caller as well onto Bin as they're trying to get the resets for SofM underneath the tower. If he'd hit either of those, it could be a totally different play. So a bit unfortunate for Weibo here and an uncharacteristic couple of mistakes coming out from Huanfeng in the fight. Remember, this Rakan Xayah combo has a 100% win rate for Weibo across the course of their game so far this split. Right now, they're on the cusp of getting themselves a loss on the board. It's a 2,000 gold lead for RNG, and after such an aggressive start in the jungle, SofM is falling behind Wei, does not have that same pressure that he had before.
Absolutely not. But I will say he has hit that level 6 point. Him and Angel are a pretty nasty combo, and I think despite the big discrepancy, 2,000 gold this early is a lot. I still have hope for them, right? If they find an initial pick off in a fight, an initial kill, very easy to chain it into more. And you know, as much as I said, Xayah might not be having as much of a good time, he still wins trades pretty heavily into the mini Gnar.
Yeah, I mean, he is still Akshan versus mini Gnar, right? He's still going to have a CS lead. He's still got a cool stacking up, but he's 600 gold down, which is kind of insane. The fact he's only 600 gold down, he's against a 3-0-2 top laner, and he's 0-2-0. He's still almost even in gold. That 160 will certainly help close the gap as well. As, yeah, it's a tough life a bit going up against these counter matchups. Angel in trouble in the mid lane. Spirit Rush available if he needs it.
What a charm.
Pull the trigger. Oh, actually, Shockwave comes on through as well. A bit of an overcommitment on the Shockwave, to be honest, from Xiaohu. And now Angel might be able to turn this one around. Has his ulti, but not going to go for it. Decides against being too aggressive.
It really felt like they were trying to do everything they could to force the Ahri ult there and just burn it to reduce the pressure Angel has, especially with that dragon coming up in a minute 20. But Angel just very, very patient, holds strong, great charm to disrupt Wei as well. And in the end, Angel doesn't have to burn the ultimate. Still, substantial gold lead, still seeing favor for RNG, but I'm interested in how these team fights will play out. Dragon up in a minute. I don't feel like, you know, either team is tied too heavily to pick this one up. It's only one in favor of Weibo right now. But we obviously saw last game how quickly RNG was able to stack up the dragons and how early the soul became a relevant factor.
Yeah. Kind of an unlucky rocket coming out there from Gala. Wanted to deny the reset to be able to fight for priority on the Drake, but now the reset has come through. Huanfeng finishing that Eclipse and having the tier on top of it as well. That's huge for a potential Drake fight if it does come to pass. It's still 2,000 gold lead, though, in favor of RNG right now. But Xiaohu's Shockwave is on cooldown. Gala's Mega Rocket, Super Mega Death Rocket, in fact. I've missed a few adjectives there. Is also going to be on cooldown for the time being. But RNG currently in control of the river. And
they have Herald in pocket, so they can just throw that down mid to really establish pressure. When it comes to these team fights, I'm looking at those big ultimates, the AoE tools. Things like the Mega Gnar, the Wei with his ultimate, the Shockwave as well. So much instant AoE damage. For Weibo, look to see how spread the fights are. And it's that initial burst. One target getting burst down, getting picked, is all Weibo can potentially need to get the momentum rolling. So very sort of different win conditions when it comes to those fights. For now, though, RNG have control of the area. You have the Herald in pocket still, and it is starting to get close to timing out, so we kind of needs to throw that down soon. I feel like I would have expected it to go down before the dragon.
Don't worry. In a second, he'll try and sweep the area. Then we'll get to see the Herald go down. It's going to be SofM looking for a stun to start this one off. Flash away from Ming and on with a quickness. Gets a knock up onto one, but no real follow-up from the rest of the squad. Weibo using one ultimate there to find themselves a way into a river, and it will push RNG away from the Drake at very least. And that might be all that they get, as Herald now dropped in that bottom lane. You were requesting that finally goes down, and it will be gifted over towards Gala. Weibo,
I don't think they can push this up.
Yeah, maybe not. The minion wave is kind of ruining everything. That's going to be a knock up onto Gala, but the rest of the team not really close enough to follow up onto what On was doing. The Herald just goes down for free.
Yeah, this was really poor because I feel like RNG could have just put it down mid. Mid is the more desirable tower if you're just going to get 2 plates, because obviously taking that mid tier 1 so valuable. So I feel like they should have just thrown it mid a bit earlier. It would have forced Weibo to react, because at the time they only had Angel in the mid lane, and then that pressure could have got you control of the dragon area. On top of that, in the fight, right? Why is Wei burning his ultimate only for Ming to eat him out of it? Pick one, right? Use one tool, and then you would have been in a better position to contest. Ultimately, RNG, despite their lead, kind of fumble that one. And Weibo potentially fishing for a play on the top side. That dragon is still up and available, though.
I'm just looking at this top lane matchup here, and it feels so unfair for Gnar. It's like, TheShy has a better boomerang than you. He has a better 3-stack passive than you. He has better mobility than you. Like,
So
what does Gnar have that Akshan doesn't have?
He's a newer champion, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's precisely what I'm saying. He came out more recently. That's the big difference in that top lane right now. But it is going to be Dragon taken by Weibo. Second one of the game. As he said, both teams backed away from that one. It meant Weibo could move back in and find that objective for themselves. So despite the goal deficit, Weibo doing a surprising good job of actually maintaining control of the game. But once again, we are in a similar situation as game number one, right? When it comes to the composition from Weibo, it feels like they're the ones that need to start to accelerate things. As a shockwave in the mid lane, Angel in trouble. Xiaohu wants to find himself a solo kill. The ultimate comes out, Spirit Rush. Knockup comes out from Huang. From Huan? On in the bottom side alongside Huanfeng. That's a route coming out from the Weibo AD carry. Ming low on HP. He runs that shield as SofM gets a reset. Can look for the knockup. There's a route for him to be able to find it, but won't go any further on this one. Wei now charging in onto SofM. Reset over the wall, but feared by the horsey. On comes in to try and save his jungler. Huanfeng 1 HP as well. The rocket dodged by Huanfeng, who's underneath the tower and zapped down. Finished off. All three fall. It's 11-3 as RNG start to utilize their advantage.
Couple of critical factors. Angel having to burn that ult mid means he was never going to be able to join that fight. Xiaohu shows up, maybe late, but able to guarantee that Weibo on the back foot. They have to run away, but it's so hard to escape a Hecarim. Wei super confident in the chase down, and they're able to secure a win on that one. Now TheShy still trying to apply pressure to this tower, but I think Bin can stop him from taking it. Oh.
Or can he? TheShy's just going for a solo kill under the tower, flashes forward, but Bin survives it. And with Ming's help, Bin is able to come out on top once again in the top lane. TheShy, he looks upset on that camera, trying to get himself comfortable, but I don't think you're ever going to be comfortable while 0-3-0.
Yeah, I think he was racing to try and get the first tower before we saw Gala pick up on the bot side. Fortunately, he wasn't able to do so. And bear in mind, right, Gala, we saw Huanfeng with the Eclipse and the tier, and then he had tier 1 boots. Yeah, he's got tier 2 boots and a couple of long swords. But Gala's finished the Kraken Slayer and nearly closing in on that second item. This Jinx getting very strong very quickly. And especially when you have a composition like this with so much engage, so much team fighting power, the safety net of the Tahm Kench and the shielding of the Orianna, this is prime position for Gala to carry this game. We will see them lose that bot lane tier 1 to Weibo, but they will trade for the Herald on the other side. I expect to see this Herald used mid. Obviously, the last Herald was say subpar from RNG, but breaking over that mid tier 1 makes a massive difference on control of the map.
And it feels like Weibo have been running this same strategy that we've seen so often from them, of draft good lane matchups, try and find a lead early, try and invade the jungle and play aggressively, pressure the opponent, and then snowball from there. But the problem is, RNG know the Weibo playbook, and we've seen it in every single game of this series so far, well, all 2 of them. That RNG know exactly how Weibo are going to try and play it and have been able to counter a lot of the plays. Ming, the target in the bottom side, that charm is gorgeous, but his shield comes out at the last second. He survives, and SofM can't get the reset. Once again, RNG just flipped to page 17 of the Weibo playbook. The bot lane tier 2 dive. Here's how we counter that one.
And they managed to handle it easily again. You're targeting Ming. Has the Merc Treads, that tenacity, meaning he actually got an opportunity to get the Grey Health shield off. And he's obviously not the easiest target to take down, right? I feel like Wei is probably the worst target to try and get a pick on, but Ming isn't too far after. I guess one of Ming's teammates when he's next to them. But ultimately, it took so long for them to get him low. SofM can't get the reset. Angel had to dip out of there. Their comp is relying on them getting that momentum. I feel like RNG, when they're grouped together as 5, there's so little opportunity to do so. And even there, it wasn't 5 members, but they had time to respond. Weibo, it feels like they're getting a bit desperate at this point. They are down 1-0 in this series. They are down 4,000 gold in this game. Yes, they're top of the standings. Yes, they're still in a good spot if they lose this. But going down to RNG, definitely not something they want to avoid. Not even just for the fact that it does mean that RNG can close that gap, but also gives them the head-to-head and the mental advantage when we look towards playoffs. Because I expect RNG to be one of those teams competing for #1, and I think Weibo are aware of that too.
And I think it's one of those situations as well where Weibo, you know, they'll have been feeling it incredibly confident coming into today. Losing to a team like RNG when I would argue Weibo were the favorite coming in here after recent performances.
I think it's a very, very safe statement.
Yeah, it would be a tough one. It's going to be tough for the players in terms of mentality. But Weibo are not done just yet. TP out towards this bottom side from Weibo. This would be sole point for them if they're able to get the Drake. Certainly would like to, but it has been Wei winning out these smite fights so far in the series. Keep your eyes on that ball. It's a double shockwave out from Xiaohu and a rocket from Gala. The resets are here. The fight is over before it ever began. Slam down onto Huanfeng. It's all done. That's lights out.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this mid-jungle, SofM and Angel. They're using their tools to just get out of dodge. There was no way Weibo were going to win that fight. Dragon secured by RNG, and they just crushed them in that one. It didn't feel like Weibo even really had a chance. They found a charm onto the Gnar here, and you'll see how little damage actually goes in the bin in this situation, right? Charm connects, bit of damage, still 60% HP, and then the shockwave comes in. On gets deleted, and then the chase potential as well. You know, I said there'd be a lot of momentum on Weibo's side if they start to find favor to fight, right, when you get the resets, but it goes in reverse as well. If you're unable to get those resets, the chase down potential for RNG on top of that, the Jinx getting excited so quickly went against Weibo there, and now Soul is going to be 10 minutes away, sort of minimum for the side of Weibo. Oh, pick comes in.
The flash charm, maybe a chance here, but Ming once again with the Devour saves Gala's life. And once again, a Weibo play is denied by RNG. Now the chase down, TheShy in the middle of everyone, in the back lines, but taken down. And Weibo just can't find anything. One kill onto their old top laner. Is that enough? The answer is no, as RNG continue to charge for more. Double fear back into the team. SofM 1 HP and cut down by Wei.
And that's enough to go for the Baron. Jungler down. Only 2 members left available, and Ahri without her ultimate. Not really a factor at all. We see the pick attempt, but that's the power of the Tahm Kench, right? I was talking about it before. Him and Hecarim probably the worst targets. But honestly, someone next to the Tahm Kench is the worst pick target. Just instantly eats them. No real counterplay. And then the re-engage comes in. The chase down potential. Wei once again this Hecarim able to follow through, and now Baron in hand for RNG. 6k gold lead before they take it. To be even more significant after, and we'll see. Yeah, I mean, they fish for this opportunity on Gala. A good attempt, but Ming just waddles over, and you're golden.
And it feels like every single attempt from Weibo has been thwarted by Ming and by Wei.
I feel like TheShy regrets his TP so much.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much he can do. He bought a pick onto the enemy, so maybe the shutdown onto Bin was worth it, emotionally speaking. But I don't know. That's all I've got. That's all I've got for Weibo at this point.
You know a game or a team fight is doomed when you're talking about the emotional value of killing a target.
Yeah,
that's when you know you're really struggling, when you have to just find that way.
We've got.
And you know, I feel like this game, TheShy 0-5-0. We've seen a lot of great things from TheShy so far this split, but it wouldn't be TheShy. Oh, engage coming in.
Hang on. Pick onto Bin here. Shockwave completely whiffed the solo laners from RNG. They don't need ultimates. Xiaohu doesn't need no Shockwave to finish these off. TheShy trying to 2v1, but he's just going to go down in this one. Cannot make it happen, and Bin ends up with a double kill. In the meantime, Wei is killing the rest of the team. I mean, this is just brutal. Weibo, they're being embarrassed on the stage right now.
Yeah, and TheShy trying to get that kill. 0-6-0 now. I feel like it wouldn't be TheShy if we didn't get 2 sides of it. But RNG just crushing. This just doesn't even look close. And they came in absolutely with Weibo being the favorites. But they are delivering even more decisively. Bear in mind that game 1 was messy, right? There was lots of opportunities where RNG thrown. This hasn't happened in this game 2. It really feels like any mistakes we saw in that game 1, kind of the warm-up. This game 2, they are so clean at closing things out. The game isn't over yet, but 10,000 goal lead, 22 kills to 4. It's definitely feeling rough. And, you know, again, they're looking for these picks. I think this is the right call to look for these pick opportunities in this situation when you're so far behind. But the damage just isn't there, right? They don't have the Viego there to follow through the sustained damage. The Gnar hits Mega and it's just, you know, Mega Gnar. Not really much you can do against him.
And in the meantime, it's just
yeah, Tank Hecarim, by the way. Tank Hecarim, 100-0, my mid laner. Yeah, really fun. Love. Love
I
to
mean,
see
he's a
it.
level up. Look at the level difference, right? Way is 14, Angel
True.
is
Plus,
13.
I mean, the items as well, like Deadman's plus
Yeah.
Chem Tank is such a dirty combo because, like, your Audacious Charge, or whatever it's the charge, the first auto from it, man, the damage it does is like, especially when you see a full tank Hecarim just smashing you with that first auto, it's pretty painful.
Drop a dirty combo. Bit of Geordie for everyone there. So, you're welcome, Hawks. Loving it. It's going to be mid-tier 1 taken, or mid-tier 3 taken here. As it's 22-4. RNG almost with a kill per minute on just their side right now. And that's almost all of the kills in the game, right? Because Weibo are only with 4 so far. This has been brutal. RNG can go for the bottom lane as well if they want. On. Just takes a massive amount of damage for himself as Ming just once again eats Gala. And that will be the bottom in against.
Honestly, man. I think as well, like when you look at Weibo wanting to get those single targets down for the resets, very difficult to do when there's a Tahm. And way there, beating the ult, you know, might look like it was a little bit excessive, but didn't want to get CC locked, obviously using that to sort of dodge away from the Rakan W. And I think RNG are very much just playing this one safely, not overstepping. On?
On?
That's not your team, buddy. That's not your team.
You know how there's the meme of on and off? Well, I feel like that was that was the epitome of the latter.
I love how TheShy just like slinks away. Kind of like, yeah, you're all right there, buddy.
Perhaps
nothing
not
to do
today.
with me.
Yeah.
TheShy is 060. He's happy with that. He does not want to become 070,
You know,
I think.
I'm kind of sad because I saw that Akshan locked in. This is the first time I'm personally casting Akshan. I immediately opened a tab on Chrome, Indiana Jones quotes. I have not had a singular positive opportunity to try and quote Indiana Jones for TheShy here. It's been a bit of a disaster across the board for Weibo. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't win them all. This is a huge positive though for RNG, right? At least we're seeing a really, really good look from RNG after losing their series to RA just last week as well. There were a lot of big question marks for RNG on how clean they were. And in game number 1, it was looking real dicey. Game number 2, they have properly tightened it up. And this is feeling near immaculate from RNG.
Well, I think you can always talk about the patch changes and saying, you know, you could make arguments like, oh, they look more comfortable in this meta. But I don't feel like things have changed that substantially. They are just looking better as a team now. Oh, this could be a pick.
Of charms from On, gets back out, but followed by an auto. Huanfeng uses that blade caller, but Bin just outplays him. That's going to be game here as RNG just go difference their way to a win on this one. The TP into the base. As once again, Wade just literally 1v1ing Angel. I'm not sure that's how the matchup is meant to go, but I don't think it matters how it's meant to go. All that matters is how it's going, and it's going real well for RNG. More than a kill a minute as they finish things off, and they dominate Weibo 2-0.
Absolutely crushed them. Bin beating his old team convincingly. Bear in mind, Weibo with first in the standings going into this 8-win streak. It had been so long since they got handed a series loss. At RNG, frankly,